Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can edit your drawing for your lamp design into Photoshop and then trace it in Illustrator. So what I'm going to do first is open up Photoshop. I'm going to go to open the picture that I've taken of my drawing. So I'll go to open and I'm going to choose this one here, this moose. So I'll click that and I'll click open. In Photoshop, you want to make sure you have a few things set up so it's going to be easy to work. So if you go to Window and you go to Workspace, select the painting workspace. That's the one I like to use. It's one I recommend. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure in Window you have your layers ticked. So your layers will be here. So I've imported or opened my image, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto that layer and I'm going to drag it onto the little plus, which just makes a duplicate layer of it. I'm going to hide my original background, and I'm also going to make a new layer by pressing the plus button next to the bin, and in that layer I'm going to color it totally white. So I'll click the paint bucket here and I'm just going to click that white and you'll see that that drawing disappears. I'm going to then click the white layer and drag it underneath that moose drawing. That's because I'm going to be erasing some sections later and I want to keep a blank white background underneath. You can also click that blank white background and lock it so you don't actually delete it or erase it. So with your background, or you can rename it, double clicking and clicking enter on drawing, you can select it and you can go to image and you can go to adjustments and threshold. If you click threshold, basically what it does is it turns it totally into black and white areas of color. So just adjust it as you think it looks best. So you're aiming for a very bold black outline. So I'm going to click OK there. So for a successful laser cut, you want to make sure you have plenty of gaps in your drawings so that these shapes don't totally fall out of your design. Anything where there's lines that are getting a bit close together, you need to erase or edit. So I'm going to go and just zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to get my eraser, which is just here, and I've got about a 20 size brush, 20 pixel size brush, and I'm just going to erase anything that's looking a bit sort of messy or maybe too close together. Might clean up this little bit here. And that's almost enough. I'm just going to delete this, erase that, and that little section. Any little stray lines you can erase. Alright, that is looking pretty good. I might just go in here and fix that up. Alright, that's finished. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to File and I'm going to export this. So I'm going to export as a PNG, and that will be fine. It's just going to save it for me. I'll save it into my Year 7 Tech folder. I'll click Save. What you're going to do now is you're going to open up Adobe Illustrator. So go down and open that up here. Click on the AI Adobe app icon. And what we're going to do here is we need to collect the template from Teams. So in Teams, in Year 7 or Year 7 D or B, you'll see there is in the chat here Illustrator template for your laser cut lamp. You can click on the three dots and download. So download that. I'm not connected to the internet, that's why it's not downloading. So once you've got that, you can then go back to Illustrator. I'm going to open one that I've downloaded earlier. So just go to Open and go to your downloads, and it should be there. Last name, first name, Lantern template, semester 2. So open that up, and you'll see you have a bunch of shapes and information in here. I'm going to explain to you what these are. So you have some example lines. You've got a wolf, you have a moon drawing. You can delete these because you don't actually need them. They're just there as examples, so you can select one, select control, and then just drag them to the trash. You want to keep these shown. These are all your lantern sides. This is where you're going to complete your drawings. So there should be nothing on the bottom. The bottom, you know, is a little B with a stroke underneath. So this is back, front, right, left. And that little pink square is just there so you know you don't want to actually go any larger than that with your drawing. So what you need to do is make a new layer. Go down next to the bin, click new layer. You can double click the letters, and this is going to be the top design. You can then press enter. So I'm going to bring in that moose drawing in a sec. So in Illustrator, it's important that you have your layers visible. So I'm using a custom workspace, but what you can do, similar in Photoshop, you can go to Window, Workspace, and I want you to use Essentials Classic. So make sure that's ticked and make sure your layers are visible. So you get your layers handy over on the right hand side. The next thing you can do on a Mac, you'll see you should have a little Illustrator tab up at top. Because I'm on a PC, it's not there, but on the Mac, go up to Illustrator, and I want you to go into, it's called Preferences, and I want you to change a few things. So go to General, and we need to make sure our units are in mils for general, and stroke is in millimeters as well. You can leave the type on points, and then click OK. So I'm going to go to File, and then I'm going to go to Place. And I'm going to find that moose drawing that I just did before. So go back to my tech folder. And there it is. I'm going to open up that. And here is my moose drawing. And I'm going to hit place. Now that might come in, and it might come in a bit large. So if it is large, you can hold down your shift key, and using the selection tool, click a corner and scale that down. And you want to place that on that bottom right square. That's the top of your lamp. Scale that down. And the next thing you're going to do is, with that shape selected or that drawing, you're going to go to Object, and you're going to go to Image Trace, Make and Expand. And you'll see what Illustrator does is it turns those black areas into little vectors or shapes. You're going to need to delete that white space around your design. So double click that, and you'll see it deletes that white area. So just press delete. And now you can see, if I select all these parts and make sure they're visible, I'll click black. You have a design that's almost ready for laser cutting. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooth out this path. So I'll go up to Object, I'll go to Path, and I'm going to simplify that. You get a little slider here. I'm going to slide that right down right down to 100 or maybe around there, 150. That looks good, and you can see that has done a pretty good job of creating my design. The next thing I want to do is just going to go back a step here. Just going to redo that. So object, image trace, make and expand, and now I'm going to delete that white space again. Go to object, path, simplify, you drag those points down, and that looks good. You may wish to, with the direct selection tool, that's the black arrow, you may wish to just slightly, if you double click, you can move those pieces around. And there's just one more thing I need to do to prepare it for laser cutting. I need to change the fill so that it's a no fill and a black stroke. So I'm going to select the whole drawing, select all those parts, select all of this, and I'm going to flip this so that there is a black stroke and the stroke size is it's on the template 0.001. That's to make sure that the laser knows to cut. So you can go 0.001, press enter, make sure there's no fill, and that will cut out very nicely. If you've got any stray or added shapes, you can just double click, delete, double click, delete. And that is the top done. When you go to upload your design, you can make sure that all you have is the images on the sides. So you'll need to go and do the same process for your side design. And when you submit this, you can go to File, Save As, save it in your tech folder. And save it with your last name, first name, and call it lamp design. Save that. And then you can go back into Teams, and I'll show you where you can upload your design. So go down to Teams here. This is where you upload your design. So click on this link, and this is just a little Microsoft form. It's in here. So when you finish your design, click this link here, and it links you to this Microsoft form here. And it just has a few questions for you. So I'm working with a template provided by my teacher with correct dimensions, yes. My stroke lines are the right size, yes. My stroke lines are black, yes. My file's saved with the correct file name, yes. There are no black fills, that is a yes. Make sure you back up your file on OneDrive, so if something happens to your computer, it's in the cloud. Yes, and then here you can upload your file. So I'll go in, find my file I just created. There it is. Unrose Sophia lamp design, open, and then that will be sent to me so I can laser cut it. Hopefully that helps, and good luck with your designs.